We averaged 1,500 covers a day. That's 1,500 people every day walking through the door.
Wow.
We're blessed. We sell out every night.
That blows my mind, to be honest with you.
20 years later, I was still in the pharmaceutical industry. And then corporate America just kind of hit me like, I'm tired of having meetings to have meetings to have meetings. January and February, you can't make money. So we stay open every day because there's a lot of members on the team that unfortunately can't afford to take off 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. I feel like I've been able to impact a lot of people's lives in a positive way. And that to me is more valuable than anything else.
You're playing in spaces with the consortium, correctional facilities, that a lot of folks won't play in. Welcome back to Down to the Beach. I'm Andy Staton, and today's guest has spent 20 years in pharmaceuticals wanting to do one thing, own a bar. Mike Venanzi finally did it, and then he bulldozed 17 years of a sports history bar that he owned that was only the true Oceanfront Rehoboth restaurant and converted to above the dunes on the boardwalk. So let's get down to the beach. Welcome, Mike Venanzi. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Of course, appreciate you being here. I'm going to jump right into it. I mean, you spent 2 decades in pharmaceuticals, and the entire time you wanted to own a bar.
Yeah, ever since college.
Right? What did that look like? Were you doodling floor plans and menus, on a pad while working, or was that more of a background hum?
So in college, our favorite place in Pittsburgh was called Billy's. It was a little dive bar, and it was in the middle of Steel Town. And it was just a fun place to hang out. We had a great time. They had good food, but it was inexpensive, good beer, inexpensive, college town place to hang out. And for some reason, that really stuck with me all through the years. Like, man, I'd love to do this because Billy would come out, he'd interact with us, he'd talk to the guests. It was just like you were walking into his place and he was having a conversation with you.
Yeah.
And so that kind of I've always been a people person. And so then I kind of thought of one day, I want to do that one day. 20 years later, I was still in the pharmaceutical industry, had done very well in that industry, moved my way up real high. And then corporate America just kind of hit me like, I'm tired of having meetings to have meetings to have meetings to then fly away for a meeting.
Yeah.
And it was like, what am I doing? You kind of try to develop people, but there's so much of the metrics and this and that you lose sight of developing people. And that's really what my passion was. So opened up the first Green Turtle franchise ever in Bel Air, Maryland. After a couple of years, joined up with 2 guys, Bob and Bill Francis, who were local at the time down here in Delaware. And, we started opening Green Turtles.
So you at Ocean City?
No. That's the
Okay.
original Green Turtle.
Okay.
So when they started franchising off after they opened the original 5, which were all quote unquote corporate owned, they then started franchising.
I see. So
And
you
so
opened your
we
own
bought the
first
first
franchise. Then you opened here, and did you do Lewis 5 Points as well?
Yeah, Lewis and 5 Points, Perryville Casino, Aberdeen, Maryland, 2 in Bel Air.
Okay. Do you still have those restaurants?
No, sold them all off.
Okay, cool.
So yeah.
So it's above the dunes.
It's above the dunes. It's above the dunes and the dunes now.
Right.
So Bob Francis and I 5 years ago envisioned this beachfront restaurant, seafood forward restaurant, 6 years ago, I guess. And we created above the dunes.
So let's look at that. 17 years in that location. COVID hit in 2020.
Yep.
And you guys said, oh shit, what am I going to do now?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Either we're going to pivot to something else, because, right, you weren't loving the Green Turtle brand. The franchise agreement had ended.
Yeah. Yep, that's correct.
Right?
That's correct.
So now you're like, okay, how do we open a seafood forward menu on the ocean?
Yep. Yeah. And we had opened a couple other small restaurants. We had a restaurant called Humagalas that we had in Bel Air that was on our own, so it wasn't necessarily a franchise model. So we knew a lot about owning restaurants on our own, which helps. And the sports bar world, I mean, when I opened up the first Green Turtle, you couldn't buy a flat screen plasma at your house for under $10,000, $12,000.
Right.
Now you can buy it
and
from
you had 10 of them.
Yeah, right. Well,
right?
Actually, we had like 32 of them.
Wow.
Nowadays you go to Walmart and you buy one for $112 every day. Your phone now gives you a better picture than the plasma did that I had purchased. And so that market kind of changed a lot. It became almost a race to the bottom where instead of building quality ingredients, quality service, quality products to sell people and charge for it, the model kind of came to be, let's see where we can cut corners so that we can still make our margins pay our bills, and make some money. And that really wasn't what we wanted to do any longer. So the Green Turtles still exist. They do a great job for what they do. They're a bar food, fun hangout,
Sure.
but the model just didn't fit us anymore. And it really didn't fit the oceanfront view we have.
Well, and let's be
from the
honest,
boardwalk.
seafood, right? Seafood friendly, seafood forward,
Yeah.
on the boardwalk. 62 seats outside.
It's 62 seats outside. Yeah, 200 and some inside.
I
212.
would call that an oceanfront restaurant,
Yeah,
right? And there's some who might argue that it isn't the case. I think you said to me you had a favorite phrase that you use.
Yeah,
so-
yeah. Everyone else looks at ass and grass. We look at the ocean.
Yeah.
There's no better view than being on the second floor. I mean, I spend a lot of time sitting at the hostess stand because I love seeing people come in. It gives me a great view of the entire restaurant. I can see everything happening. And when people walk up those steps and hit the second floor and turn to the left and look out, the most common thing we get is, I feel like I'm on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
Because just that view, we have all panoramic windows everywhere that open up, fully open as sliding doors. You literally feel like you're on a cruise ship because you sit down and all you can see is the ocean.
Was that when you guys decided to make that decision? Was that you and Don, or was that just you're like, I'd love to do this and let's do something different, and you had to convince him to do that?
No. Bob's fully on board.
Bob, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Bob, that's okay. Bob,
Yep.
Bob and my partner, we make a really good connection. I do more operational driven. Bob's more behind the scenes financial, making everything work, making all the dollars work, making us profitable as we should be. But his vision with decorations and decor, we go together really well from that standpoint.
And who does the
And
food?
so,
And who takes care of the food?
I do.
You do.
Yeah, along with chef and a bunch of people much more talented than I in the back of house for
Right,
sure.
right.
So we just envisioned this bright. We already had the main setup right for the Green Turtle. We had all the windows, we had all the doors. I remember when we were standing in there, and it used to be Seaview Motel, and so it was, I think, 16 efficiencies up there. So you can imagine how many holes are in the ground of 16 efficiencies.
Yeah, right.
And so they would house J1s up there, do stuff like that. So when we came in, it was gutted, and it had windows that were about 1 foot wide by like 6 foot tall. And that's all you had to look out. And so we remember standing with the architect, and they were kind of like, well, what are your envisions? And I think Bob is the one that said, something like, well, we'd like to take all the walls out and start there. And the guy's like, well, if we take all the walls out, the roof's going to fall down. And he's like, okay, well, that's where we're going to start.
Figure it out.
The idea was every seat in the restaurant had to have an ocean view.
Yeah.
And that's truly what we've accomplished. And it's now that we've brightened it up, it's no longer that dark sports bar look. It really is like sitting on a cruise ship and staring at the ocean.
And did the others
So-
argue the fact that you're the only oceanfront restaurant?
Some may argue that. I'd beg to differ.
Yeah.
And we'd be more than happy to invite
No,
people
no.
up.
I mean,
Invite people up to take a look.
I personally visited your restaurant on several occasions, and so I think you're right. Every time you walk in the door, you're like, "Oh wow, I'm actually on the ocean."
Yeah. It's been a blessing, and you know what? The restaurant business isn't easy, right?
Yeah.
It's a tough business. We have been blessed with an amazing staff, year after year after year. We have a core group that stays with us. We stay open year round. It doesn't make sense to stay open year round.
Okay.
In Rehoboth, in these resort towns, January and February,
They're tough.
you can't
runs.
make money.
They're tough runs for any restaurateur, and most
Yeah.
any business in downtown.
Yeah, you can't make money.
The big ones might stay open. The really big guys are going to stay open, but even they suffer. They're closing Tuesday, Wednesday,
Oh,
Monday,
yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yeah.
whatever that might be.
Yeah, so we stay open every day. And the reason we do that is because there's a lot of members on the team that unfortunately can't afford to take off 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, or can't miss. We only open on weekends, right?
Yeah.
They have bills to pay. They've got rent. They've got mortgages. They've got kids. And so, it's always been important to us to make sure that we take care of those that take care of us. And so we always take money from the summer. We do an amazing gift card sale, buy one, get one. So you pay me $100, you get $200 in gift cards.
Is that the day
Right.
after Thanksgiving?
Day after Thanksgiving, the
Right.
Black Friday, wrapped around the building. It's amazing the support we get from the community on that. But we use all that money, along with some other money in the summer, to push through January, February, and March to stay open for those guys and girls.
Okay.
Financially, if you were just looking at numbers, it'd make more sense to shut down, right? But it's not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And one of the things I've always believed in is you can't just take from the community; you got to give
You
back.
got to give back.
And so that's kind of a little way for us giving back and helping others
And
that
you guys
help
give,
us.
and you give back a lot more than that, right? You guys are
We
fairly
do.
involved in with several local foundations. You've done some work with the Sussex Consortium, the
Hmm.
Surfkin Foundation.
Yeah.
Kind of dig into that a little bit, if you would.
Yeah, Rehoboth Beach Bears. We do a scholarship with them for some kids with Rehoboth Bears.
Okay.
We love that group.
Yeah.
They're a great
Yeah,
group.
those guys are having huge impact.
Oh, they're
I
awesome.
mean, it's a segment of kind of the LGBT community, and they and they didn't just step in and says we're a group of people that are like-minded, but we're going to have forward thinking and impact in the community, and it's great to
Absolutely.
see you partner with them as
Yeah,
well.
they give a lot back. A lot of people don't realize how much they do and how much they give back.
Oh yeah, they give thousands back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do a great job as an organization. Sussex Consortium, we do a lot with kids with autism.
Is there a personal story behind that?
No, my wife works for the consortium,
Okay.
but even before she worked there, it just goes back to second chances, right? And giving people opportunities to feel a part of something. And these kids that we work with, the students, are just amazing. They come in 2 days a week. We try to teach them some life skills, some basic life skills, right? Cutting oranges, squeezing oranges for orange crushes. We teach them to clean, do windows, wipe things down, cleaning mats. We have some that come in and make our bacon wrapped jalapenos for us. They cut the jalapenos, they clean them out, they fill them, they wrap them with bacon. To try to give them a life skill that maybe they could use on their own at some point.
Sure.
And unfortunately, most of these students probably will never get to the point of truly being independent. But I believe for a few hours in the day, they really enjoy it. And what I found, quite honestly, is my team gets more out of it, I think, than I do anymore, because a lot of the guys and girls aren't used to dealing with kids like that, right? And it really gives them a sense of giving back and a sense of, you know what, how can that individual come in here so happy, always smiling, giving everybody high fives when their life isn't exactly
Yeah, and the kids remember that, right? The
Yeah.
parents understand that from a
Yeah.
local contribution back to the community by
Yeah.
inviting kids to develop some of those life experiences. I think,
Yep.
I mean, that's
And we hire every
incredible.
year. We hire some. I think we have 3 right now on payroll that do some stuff for us. And like I said, it's just it goes back to me as being the right thing to do. Right? We do a lot with work release with the Sussex Correctional, low level offenders that have gotten themselves in trouble at some point, that are really looking for an opportunity to come back into society and make an impact.
Yeah, that's
And we bring them in. We teach them cooking skills. The one thing about the restaurant world, whether you're a server, back of house cook, or whatever, you can always find a job.
Yeah.
You can always find money,
Right.
right? And so if you can learn some of those skills, you can take care of yourself. And so we help these guys come out, build some money, so that when they do get released, they have some money to put down on a rental, so they can pay their 2 months rent,
right.
right? So that they can try to start a life again. We've been doing it for 16 years. I currently have 4 that are with us full time after work release that stay with us because they appreciate the fellowship.
That's an incredible
They
story in
appreciate-
itself.
Yeah, it's once again, it goes back to doing the right thing, right? It goes back to treating people the right way. It goes back to being a part of the community, right? You can't just take the good. You got to take
Yeah.
the bad. You got to take everything that comes with it.
And not judge. I mean, you're playing in spaces with the consortium, with correctional facilities
Mhm.
that a lot of folks won't play in.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, once again, like I said, it goes back to just doing the right thing. It goes back to
Yeah.
treating people right.
Yeah.
It goes
But
back
you're
to
forward. You're forward about it. You're like,
Yeah.
that's a group of people that we're going to develop a relationship
Yeah.
with, and we're going to bring them in. We're going to train them and educate them and employ
Yep.
them. And you got 4
yeah,
full-time employees.
yeah. One's my
who-
kitchen manager.
Right. So you've
Yeah.
given him growth opportunity as
Oh,
well.
yeah,
Not that
absolutely.
he's going anywhere, but like he's now got life skills
Yep.
that he absolutely could take somewhere else. His family decided to move or
Absolutely.
whatever that might be. Right?
Absolutely, yeah. We do a lot. I want to eventually do a lot more with a group called Surf Gimp.
Yeah.
Surf Gimp is an amazing local organization that started helping people that have had impairments to their bodies, loss of limbs, whatever, to still take part in water sports
Yeah.
and still take part of that. That's an amazing organization that is continuing to build every year.
Yeah, they do good work. They have a big event every year. I think
Down in Dewey.
Yeah, down in Dewey. Right.
Yep, we go to that every year. They do great things for the community. And once again, there's so many of these small groups, and I'm sure we miss a bunch of them, that make a huge impact every day in our community
Yeah.
that a lot of people don't know anything about and have never seen or ever heard of them. Because sometimes I'll say surf camp, and people are like, "Oh my God, surf camp! That doesn't sound like a good name to be calling somebody, right?" But I think that's all part of it, right? It's part of the
Yeah.
wow that catches you, that catches your attention, and the work they do is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not politically correct,
Right,
negative or positive, whatever
right,
it is, but
right.
it's notable here
Yeah,
that
yeah.
the organization raises a lot of money. That fundraiser
Mhm.
doing hundreds of thousands.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And like I said, it all goes to great causes.
It always a great causes.
Great
Yeah.
causes.
So take me back 6 years ago. You owned a bunch of restaurants.
Mhm.
You decided to start paring some of that down.
Mhm.
You made the move to Rehoboth 6 years ago.
Correct.
Right? So you're coming out of COVID, you're selling restaurants, closing, whatever you decided to do, and now
Yeah.
you're living here. You're like, that's a big transition for a lot of folks coming from cities, right? Because
Yeah.
we know that just about no one's from here. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of terrific and amazing locals who've grown up here for a long time, but you made a strategic decision 6 years ago to kind of shutter what you're doing elsewhere,
Mhm.
to transform the Green Turtle into Above the Dunes, and to move.
Mhm.
Walk me through it.
Yeah, yeah. So once again, I've had a great relationship. Bob Frankus now is just Bob and I in the project. Bill's no longer with us in the restaurant world. About 8 years ago, Bill paired off on that. So Bob and I had always talked about him and I both lived up in Bel Air, Maryland. Um, we were getting ready to transform down here, and we had nothing else up north. And unfortunately, my father-in-law had passed away pretty suddenly, and him and my mother-in-law were living down here in Rehoboth. They had just moved down here, in fact. And so, the opportunity came to expand down here and create a new brand down here. So it really made sense. My wife and I, Vicky, moved down to Rehoboth, live with my mother-in-law. It was great for her. She was forming a great group of people down there. She didn't really want to leave, but she also didn't want to be by herself down here.
Right.
So it was really nice. We moved down here. The three of us lived together. I couldn't live with my mother as long as for a tenth the time I lived with my mother-in-law. I love her to death, and so it's really good. So it's given us an opportunity to help her out, but yet also expand the business and the footprint. Um, it's a lot easier to run one, two restaurants than it is to run multiple in
Sure.
multiple states.
Yeah.
And so
sure.
you can focus a lot more. And I think that's been a big part of our success is we've been able to focus on one restaurant, one entity, expanding the shoulder seasons. A lot of people don't realize we do 20 to 30 big events a year, rehearsal dinners, welcome parties, welcome receptions.
Including me, I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, we do a ton. I probably turn away 20 or 30 a year.
Wow.
Once again, it's an amazing location. There's nothing better than getting married. People want to get married on the beach. Well, why not have your reception on the beach?
Yeah.
We've had 3 actual weddings in the restaurant. 2 on purpose, 1 weather related.
Okay.
So we've done it all there. We've transformed it, and it's really helped. Rehoboth, you've got to be able to expand the season, right? I mean, we do all kind of Santa bar crawls and all kind of fun crawls and events, but you also have to have sustainable business in the off season.
Right.
And so these weddings, rehearsal dinners have really been a good part of our business. We do a great job with it, and humbling to say, but the feedback we get is always incredibly positive, and we transform the restaurant into something that doesn't look like it looks today.
Yeah, and as a seafood forward restaurant, let's get into the menu. Talk
Yeah.
to me about 1 or 2 things that if I walked in tomorrow, what do I have to have?
Yeah, so I'm from Maryland.
Yeah, so
Crab
crab.
cakes are a rite of passage.
I mean, don't get me started.
yeah.
I challenged the chef at the Purple Pear. We did a crab cake cook-off in my kitchen.
Oh, look at that.
Oh yeah, no,
I like that idea.
You want to have
So-
you want to have a conversation? I mean, I'm a crab cake expert.
So I'll just throw one thing out.
Yeah.
Our crab cakes are gluten free.
Okay.
That
Mine
means
definitely have
that
crackers.
means there is 0 breading.
Wow.
We have 0 filler in our crab cakes. They are nothing but lump and super lump crab meat. There's 6 ingredients in them. So when you want a crab cake and you want nothing but crab meat, that's it. They're
Yeah.
broiled. We don't fry them.
Okay.
Cooked in the oven. They are incredible. So that's one big thing I would say. The other thing is all of our fresh fish. So a lot of people don't realize because of the volume we do. If I just take back to just this past weekend, we averaged 1,500 covers a day. That's 1,500 people every day walking through the door.
Wow.
At that volume, it's really hard to be a scratch kitchen.
I mean, I don't want to compare you to other kitchens, but I mean, is that by volume of other restaurants? Is that the Purple Parrot? Is that, I
Yeah,
mean, I'm
it's
not,
we're up,
I
we're
don't
up,
know,
we're
right?
up there.
And again,
I
I'm
would
not trying to
say.
compare you to
Yeah,
like who does more.
yeah,
I don't think I understood the volume of
yeah.
business that you guys do. That's
Most
that
people
to
don't.
me, I can't fathom that.
Yeah, most people don't.
So you're a scratch kitchen,
We're as
right?
close to a scratch kitchen as you can be. Yeah. The only product we bring in that is totally ready where I open a box and I can serve it is our French fries. The reason being is number one, Thrasher sits below me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to compete with Thrasher's French fries.
Fair.
Right? We sell a waffle fry that is the most expensive fry you can buy on the market.
Because
It competes with
I do love me some
Chick-fil-A.
waffle fries.
It competes with Chick-fil-A's waffle fry.
Okay.
And we can't get rid of it because people love it. Right? That's the only thing we bring in that comes out of the box ready to go.
No kidding.
Everything
Sauces,
else we
everything.
bring in sauces, we make our own sauces. Everything comes in fresh fish, fresh seafood, everything. We get 7 deliveries a week. Every day we get delivery, right? Nothing is not made on site. Our chef and our back of house crew is incredible. Corey and Doe do an amazing job of putting together a group of, I think we have 32 back of house employees. Incredible job of making them all work together, work in sync, and create an experience that turns tables fast, that is efficient in back of house, easy to produce, but is incredibly tasty. So it's really about that. It's about creating a menu that most people like. We have a wide variety of things. I mean, we go from prime rib, filet mignon medallions, to scallops, to salads, to Wagyu burgers, to cheesesteak egg rolls that we make in house.
Which
We
I can attest to are phenomenal.
we make
Right?
200 cheesesteak egg rolls
Yeah,
every
they're
day.
phenomenal. They're phenomenal.
Hand roll them, hand do everything. Our bacon wrapped jalapenos. Once again, everything's hand done. You know, fantastic to eat. So we cover the whole gamut. The other important thing we look at, and the reason why I believe we're so successful and why we can turn so many covers, is because we sit in that sweet spot, in my opinion, of not expensive, foo-foo-y, higher end restaurants, which we have a lot of amazing restaurants in Rehoboth that fit in that category, that do an amazing job, and I frequent them often, as you can tell with my physique. And then we have the typical beach restaurants, right? The pizzas, the grab and go. We sit in that middle sweet spot where a family can come and dine. You can bring a family of 6, 8, and no problem, right? You can have a date night, just the two of you, without a problem. We have seats that sit right on the water. We have meals that you can get up to $40, $50 a person, $60 a person.
Sure.
But we also then have that $18 meal, right?
Yeah.
And so it's really room for everybody to come in, eat, and enjoy. And I think that's really, like I said, which is one of the most things that's made us successful, is it's obtainable for anybody to come in, sit with a billion-dollar view of the ocean,
I love
and
the
eat
billion.
it,
I love
and
the
eat,
billion
and
dollar
eat
view,
at
right?
eat at a restaurant that's affordable.
Yeah.
And you don't get that combination that often. I mean, as you know, you're in the real estate world. That's a pretty expensive piece of property. I
Yeah.
sell.
Indeed. Indeed.
And we pay that, right?
Yeah, of course.
We don't get a discounted rate sitting on the ocean.
Yeah.
So we really have to have the volume and the execution to make it work, and it's been incredibly successful for us.
If you could talk to the 20-year-old version of yourself, right around the I want to own a bar, what would you tell him today?
I would have listened to my father, who said, "You can't make money faster than money can make money, so invest." And God isn't making any more waterfront, so buy some.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't do either, unfortunately, as a kid, that I should have done earlier on in life. But you know what? I enjoy doing what I'm doing. People say all the time the restaurant business is the hardest way to make money, right? It is a 24/7 grind.
Yeah, you bet.
But the way we have it set up, I'm blessed with the ability to make relationships with our team, right? Manage and grow our employees. In the restaurant world, unfortunately, a lot of our employees haven't come from the greatest backgrounds, maybe haven't had the best advice in life. We spend a lot of time, resources, both financially and other, in helping our teams, right? We pay rents, we pay Uber fees, we help people get on leases, we buy tires for cars. We do an awful lot of things that, once again, is the right thing to do for the people that give us
Commit back to you.
so much of their time and
Sure, of
energy,
course.
right? I mean, it takes a lot to deal with guests every day. It takes
1,500 guests a day, by the way, right?
It takes a lot to drive an hour to get to work from Dover, from inland,
Sure.
to sit on a bus for 40 minutes
To find parking,
to find parking,
right? To
to
ride
do
the
that
bike,
route,
yeah.
right? They dedicate a lot to us, and so we've always seen them as a real tight. I mean, it's hard to say tight knit group when we have over 100 and some employees at usually in the summer, 120, 130. But we try to create this tight knit family. We've got a lot of college students that come back year after year, J1s that come back for 3 and 4 years, as much
Wow.
time as they can do it.
Yeah.
And then we have our full timers. But it's once again, it's about doing the right thing for the right people. And so, it's a tough business, but you know what? I feel like I've been able to impact a lot of people's lives in a positive way. And that to me is more valuable than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, when you're holding 30 events, right? That's retirement parties and weddings and, anything else in between. Do you have a favorite story, one, two, of somebody who just said, you know what, this is why I do this?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. So I'm planning a wedding right now myself for my son. My son and his beautiful fiance are getting married in October, Baywood Greens, and it's stressful, right? There's a lot into planning a wedding, right?
Yeah, right.
Not only expense wise, but just experience wise. So it's nice to be able to work with these young couples. Almost, I don't want to say as a parent, but I look at a lot of it as parental advice versus selling the restaurant, right? And I try to partner with them in that way. And so it's great to see them put all this through and basically say to me, listen, I'm going to take the stress out of you this night. I appreciate you allowing us to be a part of your special weekend. So for this one moment in time, this one day, just don't worry about it, right? We got it handled.
Yeah.
And so it's real nice when at the end of the night, they come up to you and say, hey, thanks. Everything was amazing.
That's a brilliant approach, right? We talk about hospitality. We talk about making it personal, right? Every single person that walks in that door, if they walk out and said, wait a second, I felt like I was appreciated or valued here. I think, not to my job, people come to Above the Dunes for the food and the view, and, building a business here at the beach is about patterns, good and bad. And so having those patterns and that method model in place, I mean, seeing that show up most in local business owners is a big deal.
Yeah.
Right? It's a big deal.
There's people that still come in, and it's funny because they come once a year. I'm here every day.
Yeah.
And we see a lot of people come through the door. And to just remember their name sometimes, not everybody,
Sure,
but some of them, and they remember you, it's nice to be able to do that. It kind of makes them feel welcome right away, right? And people that you see once a year, but yet they still feel like, wow, I'm coming to a place I know people.
right.
And I'm welcome.
And to keep them coming back, even if it's once a year, because I think, what is it, that 60% of the people that have a phenomenal experience still don't go back on a regular basis. You got to get them to like a second and third time before they would consider that part of their wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And so having that ability to maybe not remember their name every time, hey, good to see you again.
Absolutely.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, we do reservations. And so the nice thing about our reservation system is when we're booking reservations, it shows you when they've come before. And so it's really nice because we track that. We track a lot of data. That's one thing we also do, a lot of back-end data, to see the patterns of people that have come back year after year after year with their family. And then the group may get from 4 to 8 to 12, and all of a sudden it's extended family coming with them.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to see that. It's nice to feel a part of that. Restaurants in Rehoboth are plentiful. We are blessed with an amazing group of restaurateurs that do an incredible job in Rehoboth. With that being the case, though, there's a lot of options, right? You have to have a reason for people to come back and see you. You can't just open the doors and say, we're here to serve good food. Everybody does that.
Yeah.
So something has to be distinct. Something has to be different.
How's Rehoboth's dining and boardwalk scene changed since you first got here?
Yeah, so I mean, I think back to the first times of building the Green Turtle. Geez,
Because
Memorial
you've
Day to
seen
Labor
it
Day.
23
Yeah,
years, right?
Memorial Day to Labor Day, busy. After Labor Day, you could, almost roll a bowling ball down Rehoboth Avenue and Route One. I mean, and the boardwalk. There was nobody out, right? The seasons have expanded, right? Some great events that really help with that, right?
Yeah.
Rehoboth Beach Main Street does a great job of continuing to do these crawls, to do events, to bring
Sea
people into
Witch, the
town.
Crawl, the
Seawitch
Chocolate
Festival,
Festival, Jazz Festival. I mean, it's all these
e-
things in the outside season.
everything, yeah, and that really helps the local business owner. I mean, it's amazing. Most of us we pay rent 4 times a year, right? That's it. So you have to use those years where you're not paying rent to bring in some money so that when that first rent check is due in June, you have money to pay it because
Yeah.
they're big checks, right? It's
Yeah.
it's only 4 payments, right? They're big payments. So it's those off seasons where you may not be making money month to month, but you're accumulating some cash to be able to pay for your.
Yeah. Well,
So those off seasons really has made it easier to be successful in Rehoboth. The town's done a lot. You know, like always, the town doesn't always get the praise and the benefits they should. There's always something wrong, but they really over the last 3 to 5 years, I would say, have become very business friendly, business focused. They do care about their business owners. They talk to us a lot, so they have helped with that as well, um, which makes a difference, right? I mean, you want to feel welcome. You want to feel like town's listening to you.
yeah.
They don't always listen, right? As with anything else, but we do our best to be business friendly in Rehoboth.
But you're involved in the town,
I
right?
am.
You're
I
involved
am.
on the streets and safety committee, the Main Street board. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't just sit there and hear the complaints
No.
or
No.
complain, which I've not heard you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? You've gotten engaged and involved in the city activities as well.
Yeah. I was taught at a young life that said that if you're going to complain, you better have a solution, right?
100%.
So it's easy to complain, right? I mean, that's easy. It's easy to sit and complain about something or to say something's not working. It's hard to find solutions, and so I've always been raised and brought up that says don't just complain, find solutions.
Yeah.
So I've always been involved. It takes a lot of time. Listen, it takes a lot of time to be on the street and safety committee. It takes a lot of time to be a part of Rehoboth Main Street. I work a lot with economic development with the town with Taylor and with Brooke and we do these. We just started doing these every 2 weeks. We film a restaurant and the owners, and we give them an opportunity to promote their restaurant, promote their business, talk about why they came to Rehoboth, talk about what's good for them, and it gives them a little 2 minute snippet, 3 minute snippet of going on the city's website, and it goes out on social media. And it just once again, it was just an opportunity because people were saying, "Hey, listen, the city doesn't care about us. The city doesn't know we're here." Kind of that us against them mentality. So Brooke and I sat down and we created this idea of filming local businesses. Whoever wants to,
Yeah.
local business, give you an opportunity to share a little bit about your business. It's good for the city, right? It makes the city look like we've got lots of opportunities for people and fun stuff to do, which we do. But it also gives the business owners a chance for free publicity and free opportunity to.
I mean, that's
On
kind
a
of
good
what we're doing
environment.
here. I mean, I started this podcast because I'm doing a fair amount of social media stuff, and I thought, you know what? Why not showcase local folks in the business
Right.
community that are having big impact? I'm still blown away by the fact that you said you're serving, 1,500 covers on most occasions or on
Yeah.
weekends, and just
Yeah,
that blows my mind,
yeah.
to be honest with you.
Almost every night in the summer.
That's unbelievable. to
We
me.
sell out. We're blessed. We sell out every night. That's the main reason we opened up downstairs. So we opened up a restaurant down below called The Dunes.
Right.
So
Same kitchen?
no, it's a whole different restaurant, whole different business. Serves the exact same food though, except we don't do entrees downstairs, and we do chicken wings, which people love. So we do chicken wings downstairs, and we don't do upstairs. But it's more of a relaxed bar feel, more high tops than low tops in there. A little louder music. Beautiful view of the boardwalk. I mean, if you want to people watch, we've got seats that sit right on
That's
the
the place to
boardwalk,
do
and
it, right.
you can people watch all day.
Great.
Yeah, you can see the ocean from there over the dunes. Not quite as nice a view as upstairs, but you still got a nice view of the ocean. And it's just more of a casual, fun environment. But we were turning away so many people every night upstairs.
So it just made sense to do it.
Turn them right downstairs, and it's worked really well.
Perfect.
And it gives us an opportunity also to have some events where we can start the event downstairs. We had a big wedding last year where we started the event downstairs. did the welcome reception downstairs as far as the the first hour of the cocktail hour, hour and a half, and then they transitioned upstairs for the actual wedding itself, and then the evening. So it gave us an opportunity to keep open a little longer upstairs instead of having to shut down too much earlier, and that benefits the individuals having the event because they don't have to pay as much. So the other thing is it gives accessibility to people that can't make it up the steps. So we realize we have steps to get upstairs. We do not have an elevator.
Older building.
Yeah, it's grandfather. I mean, there's a whole hours of story about that I
Yeah,
could go through.
I remember when you guys
of
were
where
going
all
through
that was.
Yeah.
Yeah. That now it is an opportunity for someone that can come downstairs.
Yeah, and right, share the fruits of the work that you guys do. With an ingredient forward menu, seafood forward menu. You now have the opportunity to do that downstairs as well.
Yeah, so it's great. It works really well. It's been incredibly successful this year. This is the first year we've opened it up as the Dunes.
That's great.
And it's been really well received.
Well, this is your spotlight, right? This is your opportunity. Is there anything new that is coming to, Above the Dunes or the Dunes? And tell us where you can find you.
Yeah. So we every year we do something new, right? The other cool thing is we create 2 menus a year. One menu for the off season and one menu for the season. I have an amazing, talented chef, a great kitchen manager, an incredible team. The bulk of all of our new menu items come from team members, right? We let anybody share grandmom's recipe, dad's recipe, your recipe, whatever, and people bring it in all the time. We're developing menus.
So if it passes muster,
if we like it, if chef likes it, if we can put it together, make it work, we'll put it on the menu.
Wow.
Right? We're not really we've never had that.
Give me an example.
Give
me an example of that.
Elitist mentality. Doughboy, he does these amazing apple crisps that he makes from scratch, apple pies. It's something that I've been trying to work where Doughboy came from the correctional facility. He came through work release with us. And I'm hoping to get it this year where we sell these pies. They're incredible for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And all the proceeds would go toward either a work release program or some kind of program to help give people a leg up, a step up. Just something that we didn't even know he could do. He learned his pastry skills in prison, in the kitchen. And it's incredible what he does from scratch. Key lime pie and key lime parfaits from scratch. He does apple, he does peach, he does all these cobblers and all these pies that are awesome. So something like that just came out.
Yeah.
So we're always changing things up. We also we shut down for 10 days every year to beautify the space, right? To reinvest in the space, to paint, to redo, or to bring in new furniture, to do everything, which is a feat when you're on the second story, believe it or not.
Yeah, right.
So we actually bring cranes in and bring everything up
that
I operate.
Inside. Yeah,
I operate itself. It's my one couple
one
days a year where I
yeah,
really
right.
love and do it because
Yeah.
you've got to push it through the windows. And literally we have a 1 foot margin basically on both sides. You're trying to thread the needle of about 60 feet. You telescope out the forklift and bring it up, and it's a lot of fun actually. But so we're always beautifying the space. So every year it's something different we're adding to it.
So you can find you on the second and the first floor between Wilmington
and the boardwalk.
Boardwalk.
Yep.
Right.
AboveTheDunes.com is our email address.
Social media as well.
And social media is the same thing with Instagram. We're real big on. I got a talented girl that does a lot of Instagram stuff for us.
Great.
So
well, I'm going to stop by on Thursday.
Please.
Right? We'll do some B-roll. We'll have a little fun.
Awesome.
And,
happy hour every day.
I'll shoot you a note before we head over.
Yeah, please.
And
happy hour every day, 1 to 5.
That'd be great. Anything else you want to leave us with?
That is it, man. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you
appreciate
giving us the opportunity to come visit. And I think this is a great idea.
Yeah, perfect. Good. That's Mike Venanzi. He's the co-owner of Above the Dunes, and proof that sometimes the best business plan is just refusing to let go of a college idea for 20 years. Mike, thank you so much for coming down to the beach today. If you've got something out of this, a reason to grab a seat on that oceanfront deck, or the nudge to finally chase the thing you've been sitting on, do me a favor and follow the show and pass it along to somebody who'd get something out of it. I'm Andy Staton, and this has been Down to the Beach.